entrepreneurs, get ready, because if you want to get into the spirit, then you are in the right place. That's right. Our topic for today is wine and spirits. So get ready, because it's time to level up.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, I'm Denise Roberts, and welcome to Level Up, the bully pulpit for small business in the DMV. In the United States, the wine-making business is a $56 billion industry with an expected annual growth rate of 5.85% in the next few years. Out of the more than 11,000 wineries based in the U.S., less than 1% of those are Black-owned or have a Black winemaker. Within the past couple of years, there's been a push toward purchasing from Black-owned businesses, which has bolstered awareness and shined a spotlight on the benefit of increasing diversity. Here to talk about the industry is the DMV's very own Marcus Johnson, jazz musician and now owner of Flow Wine. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So tell me about Flow Wine.
Flow is an outgrowth of an understanding. I really had to reevaluate what was going on in the early 2000s with music, because we went from making a lot of money to nothing really fast when Napster came in and mp3.com. So I was reading a book by Howard Schultz called Uncommon Ground, and he was talking about how he had to pivot Starbucks and ask, what business are we really in? So what I realized was that musicians and artists in general aren't in the entertainment industry. We're not in the music industry. We're really in the therapy industry, and they use my music to feel better. I was seeing the Lifescapes, kiosk at Target with music to chill by, etc. And I was like, well, I can do this. And so one day I had a thought session with God and got the whole idea for one of our brands, which we had Flow, which meant for lovers only, but I couldn't scale that. So I was like, what else could I do with Flow? Started thinking and came up with For the Love Of. And that was the beginning of our lifestyle series of CDs, Flow Romance, Flow Chill, Flow Standards. But the music industry was still tanking, and no real Amazon at the time. We didn't have Google at that time, and so thought about what we could do. Our number one target demographic is women. They love wine, so let's put it together for a great experience. And I don't think there's a better experience in therapy than Marcus Johnson when you get home with a Flow candle, with some Flow wine, and maybe a Flow book, doing your thing.
That's right, that's right. Oftentimes, I think jazz and wine are kind of affiliated together, so that makes a lot of sense. What are some of the steps that you had to take to start your own wine brand?
Well, number one, you had to have the idea. You had to really think about your core consumer. A lot of people come up with a product first and then try to figure out the market. That's not the way to do it. Understanding that women are the number one Marcus Johnson demographic and psychographic, what they like to do and how they do it. I was looking at the venues and saying, God, we can do wine. After the idea comes the organization process, really asking people, seeing your different market segments. Oh, women that have girls' night out, women who take their man out, women who want wine at home by themselves, and then figuring out the numbers. I mean, you kicked out some very important numbers about the wine industry. We have to find the numbers about our segments, and it lets you know how to get in, where to get in, why to get in, etc. How you market. And from there, it was a matter of really iterations of different wine companies, different wine partners, and getting us to the point now where we have our joint venture partner out of Sonoma, where we produce our product out there and distribute with RNDC around the country. Okay,
so what types do you curate, and what did you bring with you today?
I brought our Chardonnay, and we have our Rosé and our Cab. And it's funny, we just got back from doing a wine tasting happy hour at Happy Cork, Brooklyn, which is one of the up-and-coming, very few Black-owned wine stores and bud stores. And they had their unwine there, and it was like the who's who in Brooklyn. And they went through 2 cases, 2.5 cases of our stuff.
Oh, wow.
Including our Rosé and our Cab that we had. And so we had the Chardonnay in the car. But yeah, we have a stainless steel fermented Chardonnay, Our rosé is a Barbera Grenache blend, and we have a Paso Robles Cabernet Sauvignon.
So how does the partnership work? Because if the wine isn't made here, how are you able to navigate all of that?
You know, I say it like the CEO of GE. If they make engines in Japan, you know, they don't live in New York. So why do I have to be in, you know, wine country to get it done? This is my base. This is where my daughter is, which is really my base. So you navigate it through using technology, you navigate it through traveling, you navigate it through your partners. I have a friend in town from Black Vines, Fern Stroud, who helps me out on the West Coast. And then you get your teams that are like your distributor, you talk to your salespeople, and you have to be on it. Like there's a big component of you have to show up every day, right? You can't just be black on and be like, yo, help a brother out, help a sister out. You have to be on it every single day, practicing excellence. And it gets tiring, but the other side does too, when you don't have anything going on. And you're looking at Charlie like, you know, please don't fire me, sir. You know, so we don't have that around our parts.
Now you're part of the 1% of owners in
Maybe
the wine
1%,
industry.
but
yeah. I mean, how does that make you feel? I mean, and how do we get more black-owned wine brands out here? Not to say that we want to give you any competition.
I mean, there's enough. The thing about it is there's enough for us, right? We get all these crazy questions like, you know, well, what is the black palate? I mean, it's just like the white palate. Some people like sweet wine. You know, my mom's friends, we sit on our boat in Ocean City with our friends next to us who are lawyers and doctors, and they love Moscato, you know, and they're wealthy white people. So, you know, to think that black people only drink sweet wine, we have to, you know, demystify some of those things, number one. Number two, we really do have to continue with what you're doing with Level Up and teach entrepreneurship education. And not that it's a piece of paper that you go and say, hey, can I get a loan? It is a matter of, did you do your industry analysis? Did you do a feasibility study? Did you look at your target market and segments? What are they worth? How will you get them? Then what is your distribution plan going to be based on that? Your marketing, your sales, how are you going to get that done? Then what does it look like on the numbers? And people want to just say, well, I'm just going to go into business without knowing that. You can. But when you start talking about like how do you get thousands of cases, how do you get to the 2 million, you know, case, you know, mark? How do we compete with, you know, McBride sisters who we love? And then understanding that we have a whole new sandbox. African Americans in wine that's why there's a 5.85% growth rate. Right? And we really need to understand that. And we know where to get them. And then we leverage that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the business side of things, when you look at different industries, I think the business side is pretty much the same principles. It's like you said, we need to educate more. But when it comes to the wine industry, I just think that there's so much opportunity that we just don't know how to take advantage of it.
What's really interesting is you have 11,000 winemakers, right? Or wineries and wine brands in the country. You have 20,000 songs that are put out each day in music. So 11,000 is kind of static wineries, but you want to also be in the music industry. Everybody wants to be a rapper and everything else like that. By the way, at the height of the music industry, it was $12.5 billion. Wine is 56, actually more than 56. Let's say it's around $70 billion. Right? So you're talking about essentially 6 times what the music industry was, but we want to play in a field where you get 20,000 songs released each day. It's demystifying things. It is letting people know that you actually can make this happen. And going from, you know, an article in Inc. magazine about doing custom crush, you know, going to, you know, okay, I'm going to put the business plan together to make this happen. So we have to do that.
Sure. Where can people go to find out more about your wine brand, about Flow Wine?
Visit us at flowlifestyle.com. It's FLO for the love of, right? So flowlifestyle.com. And you can put Marcus Johnson and wine in Google and it'll pop up as well. We have a nationwide deal with Total Wine and More. So you can find us in every Total Wine. And then we ship direct from our website from Sonoma to all of the territories that allow for shipping in the United States.
Okay. Marcus, congratulations, and thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Denise.
All right. Hey, everybody, listen up. If you would like a special shout out to your business on our show, take a selfie. That's a picture of you and your business, but it has to be a selfie. Send it to me on Twitter at Denise G. Roberts, and be sure to use the hashtag #LevelUpSelfie. Also, if you have any ideas for the show, send them to me on Twitter as well, at Denise G. Roberts. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
Let's go.
you'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes.
Make a plan today.
Welcome back, and thank you for tuning in to Level Up. If you are like me, then your experience with the spirits outside of the church, that is coming from the consumer side of the bar. When we go to the bars, we take a seat and we talk to the bartender. And most times we know what we like to drink and we place our order, and it's just that simple. But there's so much more that's going on behind the bar that meets the eye. A lot goes into creating an experience for the customer in the alcohol industry, and here to talk about it is serial entrepreneur Danielle Edwards, owner of Beyond Happy Hour. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. So tell me a little bit about Beyond Happy Hour.
Okay, well, Beyond Happy Hour is an experience. We are a full service bar industry, meaning not just bartending. We do everything from training, consulting, of course we do events, and we're also the only Black female-owned bar supply business in the United States.
Wow.
So yes, so we're gonna teach you how to drink, we're gonna teach you how to make the drink, and then we're just gonna have a good time all together.
So what type of training do you teach people in this industry?
Well, we do 4 different types of training. We do actual bartending training,
Okay.
so you can learn how to become a bartender at a regular bar or restaurant, or if you want to start your own mobile business. We also do alcohol safety training, which is required by law. It's the acronym TIPS, TIPS, Training for Intervention Procedures. Pretty much means we teach you how to spot a fake ID, how to not serve anybody that's already intoxicated, and not serve anyone who legally cannot drink, meaning the judge said, okay, I know you're old enough to drink, but you had a few alcohol-related incidences. I'll give you your license, but you have to stay away from alcohol. That can get you in trouble if you serve them as well.
Sure.
We also do teen alcohol safety classes, and I know that's a little taboo, but we train high school seniors that are going away to college and the military, because let's face it, they're gonna drink.
Sure.
So just teaching them the tools on how to do it safely. Like the buddy system, go in pairs, stay away from jungle juices. If you don't see where the alcohol came from, don't drink it. But the biggest thing is stay away from it until you're old enough to drink. But if you're gonna do it, this is how you do it.
Okay.
And the last thing that we teach, we do these things called mixology classes, which I have trademarked, Mixology and Chill.
Okay.
And it's pretty much a home-based mixology class with you and your girlfriends, or you and a couple of couples, and I teach you how to make 3 signature cocktails so you can be the star of your home bar. And those are really fun for, like, you know, couples nights, girls nights, bachelorette parties and things like that.
Okay.
Or just when people want to get out.
And you go out and do your own parties, right? Okay.
I do, yes.
So how did you get into this industry?
Well, I started bartending 22 years ago. And it's kind of like any industry. Once you're out there, you want to start going with the behind the scenes. So people were calling, hey, can you do my wedding reception? Can you bartend this event? Can you bartend that event? And then that got me into actually teaching people, because I started, you know, working at other bars, and I started seeing these rookies coming in from bartending school. They didn't know the difference between a red wine glass and a white wine glass. They didn't even know the difference, and you came from bartending school. I'm like, yeah, I can do this.
Okay. I don't know the difference between a red wine glass
Oh,
and
there's
a
a
white
difference.
wine glass.
There definitely is a difference.
But I drink both.
Okay.
Okay. But okay, so are you also teaching people who are in this industry how to run the business side of the business?
Yes, that is a part of the bartending class package. If, you know, most of my students are military, they're mothers, or they're teachers, well, parents, I'll say parents or teachers. That's the majority of my students, and they want to supplement their income. And I tell people all the time, you know, when the recession hits, the bar industry is always going to be there because people drink when they're happy, when they're sad, when they're celebrating. The alcohol industry is not, we're not going anywhere. Let's face it, we're essential. So a majority of my students, they are, you know, teachers, military, stay-at-home parents, or people who just want to supplement their income. So yes, I teach you how to successfully start your own side bartending hustle, and I also hire all of my employees. I hired them because they took my class in some form, either my alcohol safety class or the actual bartending class.
Now, what steps did you take to get started in this company? Because clearly, if you got into this just from being a bartender all those years ago, right? You saw a need for something, for a business like this, for training that needs, because you saw there was something lacking in the people that you were coming in contact with.
That's exactly how it started. I guess it came from a place of frustration. And I'm a very creative person. That's the Pisces in me. And bartending is a way where you can recreate drinks. Like I was speaking to Marcus earlier about, you know, the big thing now is wine cocktails and mocktails, because everybody doesn't drink, you know, sometimes, or everybody doesn't drink hard spirits. Some people like wine, some people like their ginger beer mixed with vegetables and fruit and herbs and make it look all pretty and things like that.
There's some bacon in it too.
Oh, some bacon. Oh, yes. There's so many different things that you can do. But like I said, a lot of the biggest thing that I was seeing was, like I said earlier, with the students coming out of bartending school and didn't even know basic tools, or the red wine from the white wine glass, or didn't know a hurricane glass from a Collins glass, and, you know, just little things like that. And it just kind of grew. Like, hey, can you teach me how to bartend? Hey, can you come and do this? So I kind of just rolled it over.
And when you do private parties or different events, how do you customize each experience?
I have a consultation with them, and I find out what their needs are. Everybody's needs are different. You know, if you're having an 80th party for your grandmother, may be a different vibe from a 35th party. 35th party for maybe your daughter or your sister. So everybody's needs are different. You know, you may have more wine at this party, you may have more shots at this party. I may have 50 people here, I may have 500 here. So I sit down and I talk to my clients and give them an assessment, see what they need, and then we build a package from there.
What kind of person do you think it takes to be someone who manages a business like this? Because you have employees, and not everybody is cut out to be an employer.
You definitely have to have patience, and that's something that I'm learning every day. I'm not the most patient person, but being in, like I said, I've been bartending for 22 years, and I started this business in 2009 back home in the Hampton Roads area. You definitely have to have patience, and you cannot give up. You have to have a go-getter attitude and know your worth, because I get turned down all the time when people say, oh, your prices are expensive. That's fine, because Beyond Happy Hour is giving you an experience. You know, I'm not just somebody that's going to open up bottles or pour. All of my employees, they are trained, they are knowledgeable, they're friendly, they're fun. And so you're going to get an experience, not just people that's going to pour drinks for your event.
How can people get in contact with you if they want to reach out?
Beyond Happy Hour on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, even though I don't use Twitter that much. And on TikTok, it's Hey That's Honey.
All right. Danielle Edwards, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you.
All right. And we're also going to be in for a treat, too, as well.
Oh, yes. I have something good for you guys.
Okay. All right. Don't go away, because when we come back, we are really going to level up and get into the spirit. We'll be right back.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Welcome back, and thank you for tuning in to Level Up. If you are just tuning in, we are talking with mixologist Danielle Edwards, and she's going to mix up a few cocktails for us today. So what do we got going on here?
All right, so as we know, Cinco de Mayo is on its way, and the day after Cinco de Mayo is the Kentucky Derby. And both holidays have their own signature drinks, especially the Kentucky Derby, which is the mint julep, which we're going to make second.
Okay.
But next Friday, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, what do we think about? Tequila, we thinking about margaritas, and Mexican beers.
Yep.
So today we're going to do a little mix on a traditional margarita, but we're gonna make a pineapple jalapeno margarita.
Okay.
I hope you like spicy.
I love a spicy
You love spicy?
cocktail.
Then you're in for a treat, okay? But also, too, I want you to make it with me.
Okay.
Can you do that?
Awesome,
Alrighty,
yes.
Alrighty, so let me give you your own margarita glass. All right, now in front of us we have shakers. Okay, this is called a Boston 10. I have my favorite one, as you can see here. It has my name on it. It's been all scratched out. I've had this thing forever. I love it to pieces. We're gonna take it and then we're going to add a little bit of ice into our shaker.
Is this enough or need more?
Probably not. Add a little bit more. We can also add more ice if we need to.
Okay.
Okay. Next thing we're going to use is a tequila. I like to use a 1800 Cristalino. This is one of the newer 1800s that just came out. There's a little story behind it if you are a tequila aficionado. Me personally, I'm a bourbon aficionado. So I'm going to use a shot glass, and your average shot glass that you get, especially, you know, these little souvenir ones you get from airports, hotels, and things like that, they're about 1.75 ounces. So before you took the bottle from me, I was going to add one more.
Oh, okay. Is that good enough?
It's your drink.
Oh, okay. Can I
So
put
that was
it
about 1.5 ounces. So
Okay.
you want to go ahead and do some more?
Okay.
And this is an easy way to measure how much alcohol you're putting into your drink.
Okay.
So these are traditionally about 1.75, so a little under 2 ounces. All right. Next thing we're going to use is a little bit of agave. Okay, I'm using light agave. Summertime is around the corner. So I'm just going to do a quick little squirt in there, maybe about 1/4 ounce. All right, let's just give it a little sweetness. The next thing I'm going to use is some homemade jalapeno pineapple simple syrup. Okay, so simple syrup is just 1 part water, 1 part sugar. You boil it until all the sugar dissolves, and then you let it cool. Okay, so with this mixture, I added fresh squeezed pineapple juice, and I added the seeds from the jalapeno.
Okay.
Because the seeds is what makes the jalapeno spicy, not the actual outer area. Okay.
Okay.
And then we just let it soak. Let it sit overnight, then strain everything out, bottle it up, refrigerate it. It's good for about 14 days.
Oh, wow. Sounds delicious.
It is. Now, depending upon your level of spice, I'm only going to do probably about 1 ounce of this because it is a little spicy. So that's about half of your measuring shot glass.
Okay.
Okay.
I
Now, if you like spice,
spicy.
then go ahead, girl. That's your drink.
Spicy. Okay.
All right. Next thing we're going to use is some roses, sweet and lime. And I'm going to do probably about 1/3 of my shot glass of that because I don't want it too citrusy.
Okay.
Because
Go
I
ahead,
still
give me a
have
shot
3
glass.
more citrus ingredients that we're going to add to this.
You said 2/3?
Oh, no. I said 1/3.
Oh, oops.
That's okay. Just pour a little bit in there.
Okay.
There you go. Okay.
All right, there you go.
All righty. We'll just pour that in there, okay? And we'll pour it to the side. All right. The next thing we're gonna add is a little bit of sweet and sour mix. Now, this is kind of high in sugar and high in calories, so you can always substitute this for like a lemonade, maybe a fresh squeezed lemonade, or just some lemon juice and a little bit of water, okay? And so I'm gonna do probably about 1/3 again, myself.
Okay. Okay, so 1/3 this time. Okay.
Okay. And the last thing we're going to use is just a little bit of pineapple juice, okay? So I'm going to shake that up. And I'm going to use my little apparatus here for all my ladies with nails.
Okay.
And we're going to open that up, and I'm going to just do just a little to taste.
I like pineapple juice.
You like pineapple juice?
Can I put a little
Go
more?
ahead, girl.
Okay.
It's your turn.
Okay,
All
go.
right. Thank you. All righty. Now we're going to take our glass, which is a 16-ounce pint glass. We're going to place it right on top. It's not going to sit directly straight up and down. It's going to have a little angle to it.
Okay.
See that? Tapper. What? Pick up the table first.
Okay.
All right. Give her a nice little tap. Now, you left-handed or right-handed?
Both.
Which one is your dominant hand?
Left.
Left? All right. So you're going to hold that Boston shaker right here in your left hand.
Okay.
All right, and then you're gonna put your non-dominant hand, and you're gonna give it a nice little shake. Now let's put it over our shoulder, put a smile to it, and shake it. Okay. All right. So you want to shake it until you start seeing condensation here. That's how you know that cocktail is cold.
Okay.
All right. Now, once you're done, I want you to take your palm here, give it a nice little hit so your glass shakes. Do it one more time. Hit it right here. All right.
I'm not strong enough.
There we go. There we go. Now you can take that and let it sit for a second. Let some of the bubbles go down. We're going to take our margarita glass and we're going to dip it in a little bit of sweetened lime juice. And we're going to rim it with some tahini, which is a chili lime salt. Okay?
Okay.
And you want to come over here and do yours?
Okay.
So dip it in the lime juice first because you want something sticky to where the salt can adhere to your glass. All right? And just give it a nice little spin. All right? That's good enough. Come on out. Come on out.
Okay.
Okay. And we're going to take our cocktail and we're just going to pour it directly in there. Just like that. If you need more ice, you can always add more ice. Perfect.
All right.
And then I have these beautiful garnishes. And this is something that I always tell my clients. Bar Science says all garnished cocktails receive at least like 8 to 10% more in tips. Just like people eat with their eyes, they drink with their eyes too.
Okay.
So our garnish here has jalapeno, pineapple, and then a pineapple little leaf here with a little tahini on it. And we're going to put her in there just like that. And you have
Okay.
one right there.
All righty.
All right. And cheers. And then we can move on to the next drink.
All right.
Cheers. Taste it. Tell me what you think.
Not bad.
Not bad?
It's delicious.
All right. All right. So the next drink that we're going to make is a staple for the Kentucky Derby, which is the mint julep. Okay? This drink is not very popular in most bars, but you will only see it around this time of year. So we're going to take our glasses and we're going to fill them up with ice. And this drink is very, very, very simple.
I got some terrible.
It's so simple.
Is that good enough?
That is great.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to take some fresh mints that we have here that actually grew in my little garden. Hold it to it. Take the mint. No, take it in your hand.
Okay.
There you go. Take them in your hand, and we're going to pick the leaves off the stem. Okay? And I want you to put the mint leaves in your non-dominant hand, which will be your right hand. All right, you got a few?
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
put them in your hand, and I want you to follow me. Ready? We're going to
Oh, I don't have as many as you. Let me take this.
go ahead and slap it. So when you're slapping the mint, you're awakening the oils in it. Do it one more time.
Okay.
Smell that?
Yep.
You smell it?
Yeah,
Yeah?
I do.
All right, and drop it right in your glass.
Okay.
Just like so. Alrighty, and the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna use some Woodford Reserve or any kind of bourbon. Okay, it's a Kentucky Derby, Kentucky bourbon. All bourbon is made in Kentucky. Oh, it's not bourbon. And again, it depends on how much you love bourbon, but I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 myself.
I think I'm going to do 2 myself, too. Is this okay.
Alrighty, got it?
Yep.
There you go. All right, and the next thing we're going to use is going to be some homemade simple syrup. It's just like this simple syrup here. Only difference is this has jalapenos and pineapple in it. This is just basic sugar and water, okay? And we're just going to pour her right on top, maybe just like a quick little 4 count,
Okay.
okay? Shake it up a little bit. All right, and if you want to garnish it, which I always suggest, we can put us a nice little mint sprig right in there. Add a little more ice if you want to. Let's add a little more ice. All right, and there you go.
All right.
Your mint julep. Cheers.
Cheers.
What do you think?
Yeah, I like this one better.
You like the margarita better? All right now. Well, I'm glad you like it. I'll have you the recipe when we're done.
Okay. All right.
Cheers.
And that's our show for today. Again, I want to thank my guests, Marcus Johnson and Danielle Edwards. This show and previous episodes are posted on our YouTube channel, Level Up CTV. So make sure you go out there and hit the subscribe button. Also, join our Small Business Club for a chance to showcase your business on this show. Send an email with the link to your company website to levelup@pgctv.org. I'm Denise Roberts, your host, and I'll see you next time on Level Up, the Bully Pulpit for Small Business.